Have you ever really, and I mean really, thought about the chicken on your plate? Not just how you cooked it, but the incredible journey it took to even get there? Well, we're gonna pull back the curtain on a process that takes a simple egg and turns it into a full-grown chicken in just 42 days. Let's dive into what is truly an astonishing feat of high-stakes industrial engineering. First off, let's just try to wrap our heads around the scale of this thing. Every single year, humans around the world consume over 70 billion chickens. That number is so massive, it's almost meaningless. It's a level of demand that old-school traditional farming could never, ever hope to meet. So that brings us to the big question, right? How on earth is this even possible? The answer, you'll see, has almost nothing to do with what you picture when you think of farming. And it has everything to do with a system of logistics, biology, and robotics that feels like it's straight out of a science fiction movie. It all starts before the chicken is even a chicken. It begins inside what we're calling the robotic womb. This is where life is literally engineered from the very beginning, in an environment of total isolation and absolute perfect control. This brings us to a key concept, the biosecurity fortress. And trust me, that's not an exaggeration. These places are more secure than a bank, and for good reason. A single microscopic bacteria strain getting inside could wipe out a $50 million batch of eggs in a matter of days. The financial stakes are just astronomical. So inside this fortress, the process is just meticulous. First, every single egg goes through multi-stage sterilization. We're talking organic cleaners, UV light, anything to create a perfectly sterile shell. From there, they enter these massive robotic incubators. And get this, machines automatically tilt them just a little bit every hour. They're perfectly mimicking what a mother hen would do to keep the embryo healthy. And it all leads up to a perfectly synchronized hatch on a massive, massive scale. And this table just lays it out perfectly. A mother hen, she can handle maybe a dozen eggs. This $5 million robotic womb, it hatches 2 million at a time. And while a hen does her best to keep the eggs warm, the factory locks the temperature at exactly 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit. A half a degree fluctuation could mean losing the entire batch. The precision is insane.
You know, the source material really sums it up perfectly with this quote. It's not about fighting biology, it's about hijacking it, scaling it up, and perfecting it with robotics to get an outcome that would be totally impossible in the natural world.
So, the chicks have hatched, and now an even more incredible clock starts ticking. This is what we're calling the 42-day revolution, the journey from a tiny hatchling to a full-grown chicken in just 6 weeks. The speed and the logistics here are just gonna blow your mind. The second they hatch, thousands of tiny chicks flood onto these high-speed conveyor belts. As they move, AI-powered sensors are scanning them, sorting the healthy from the weak in mere milliseconds. And to give you some perspective, the source says this sorting line actually moves faster than a high-end Tesla assembly line. Think about that. This is the absolute peak of industrial automation. Now, what's the result of all this insane technology? Well, for one, an incredibly low mortality rate, less than 3%. And a huge part of that is thanks to one really clever process. Here's a fact that might surprise you. In this whole system, human hands basically never touch the birds. To vaccinate them and give them immunity boosters, the chicks just pass through a very fine automated mist. The spray coats their feathers, and then they naturally ingest it as they groom themselves. It's a completely touchless and incredibly efficient system. But hey, the technology is only half the story. The other half is the bird itself, which is its own kind of technological marvel. This is a broiler chicken, a specific breed that has been genetically selected over the last 70 years for one thing: rapid growth. And the result? They now mature 300% faster than a typical chicken from the 1950s. So let's just lay out this whole life cycle. It's wild. On day 1, they hatch and get vaccinated. By day 21, they're moved into these huge grow-out houses. And by day 42, just 6 weeks after they were born, they've reached their target weight. It is an unbelievably fast timeline. So, what happens inside these hanger-sized grow-out houses? Well, every single variable is optimized for growth. They get a precision-engineered diet of corn and soy, AI systems constantly monitor the climate, even the lighting is scientifically adjusted to keep the birds calm and focused on one thing: eating. The goal is simple: to create the most efficient conversion of grain into protein possible on planet Earth. Okay, so we've seen the unbelievable engineering and the mind-bending scale. But what does it all mean for us? For the food we eat? what's the final verdict on this system of mass-scale biology? Why does this entire massive, complex, and controversial system even exist? This chart tells you everything you need to know. This whole industrial scale operation is the one and only reason that chicken is, by far, the most affordable and accessible protein in the United States and in a lot of the world.
So look, there's no denying it. From a certain point of view, this system is a masterpiece of industrial logic. It achieves its goal with a kind of staggering efficiency. But as the source points out, it also forces us to ask some really serious questions about how reliant we've become on engineering biology at such a massive scale.
And that really just leaves us with this final, really provocative question. Is the 42-day chicken the absolute pinnacle of human ingenuity, a necessary engine to feed a planet of 8 billion people? Or, in our relentless quest for efficiency, have we simply gone too far?